Before you chase after what you think is success, I want you to ask yourself one question. What if everything you've ever been taught about success is incomplete? There was once a young boy who believed, with all his heart, that success was about money, applause, and reaching the very top. He saw people celebrated for their wealth, and feared those who failed. He spent his days dreaming of a future where his name would be known by everyone. But deep inside, there was a quiet restlessness, a persistent feeling that something important was missing from the picture. One evening, as the sun melted into the horizon, painting the sky in shades of orange and purple, the boy found himself standing beneath a truly ancient baobab tree. Its roots were thick and gnarled, gripping the earth like hands holding onto time itself. Beneath this magnificent tree sat an elder. His back was bent with age, but his eyes were as calm and clear as still water. The boy approached, bowed respectfully, and finally asked the question that weighed so heavily on his heart. "Sir, what is truly success?" The elder didn't answer right away. Instead, he reached down, picked up a small, smooth stone from the ground, and gently placed it in the boy's palm. "Walk with me," the elder said, his voice soft but steady. As they began to walk, the elder started to tell a story. "There was once a man," he began, "who could run faster than anyone in his village. He ran for money, for praise, for the roar of the crowd. He won every single race and built himself a great, beautiful house. People admired him, they envied him, and they spoke his name loudly in the streets." The elder paused, letting the silence hang in the air. But then, one day, his legs failed him. He could no longer run. The cheers faded away, the crowd disappeared, and his great house suddenly felt colder and emptier than ever before. He had everything the world told him to want, yet he had nothing that could stay. The elder turned to the boy, his gaze piercing. "Tell me, was that man successful?" The boy hesitated, thinking carefully. He had wealth, but he had no peace. The elder nodded slowly. "Then wealth alone is not success." They continued walking until they reached a quiet farm, where tall crops stood bathed in the gentle moonlight. "Now, there was another man," the elder said. "He rose before the sun every single day. He worked his land, he fed his family, and he spoke very little. He was never famous. No one knew his name outside his small village. But when hardship came, his children stood firmly by his side, and his neighbors, who trusted him completely, came to help." The elder looked at the boy again. "Was he successful?" "Yes," the boy replied softly, a new understanding dawning on him. "He lived well." The elder then filled a simple clay cup with water from a nearby well and handed it to the boy. "Walk," he said simply. The boy took the cup and walked as carefully as he could, his eyes fixed on the water, concentrating so that not a single drop would spill. When they finally stopped, the elder asked him, "What did you see on the way?" "Nothing," the boy replied, a little confused. "I was completely focused on the cup." The elder smiled a knowing smile. "That," he said, "is a picture of success. To carry what truly matters, your values, your peace of mind, your life's purpose without spilling it, all while the world does everything it can to distract you." They returned to their starting point beneath the great baobab tree. True success, the elder concluded, is not about how high you climb, but about how well you live. It's not how much you gather, but how much you become. It is sleeping soundly at night with a clean conscience and waking up in the morning filled with hope. The boy bowed, deeply grateful for the lesson. But still, he wasn't fully satisfied. The elder's words echoed in his mind for days. He tried to live carefully, to focus on what mattered, but the questions remained. One night, under the light of a silver moon, the boy returned to the baobab tree. "Master," he said, his voice earnest, "you told me what success is, but how does one actually become successful?" The elder rose slowly from his seat. "Come," he said. "Some answers are better walked than spoken." This time, the elder placed two identical seeds in the boy's hand. He then dug a small hole and planted one seed deep in the soil, while leaving the other one right on the surface. "These seeds are the same," he explained. "The rain will fall on both. The sun will shine on both. But only one will grow. Why? The boy asked, his curiosity piqued. Because success begins with depth, the elder replied. Many people desire the fruits of success, but very few are willing to be rooted in discipline, in patience, and in consistency. They walked on until a distant hill came into view. Everyone sees the peak, the elder said, pointing towards it. But few respect the path it takes to get there. The mountain doesn't move closer just because you dream of it. You have to walk the path, especially when the road is hard, and no one is there watching or cheering you on. Their journey then led them to a clear, flowing stream. Look, the elder instructed. The boy leaned over and saw his own reflection in the water. Before you blame the world for your circumstances, the elder said gently, ask that person in the water what he has done today to grow. Successful people take full responsibility for their growth, for their failures, and for their future. As they walked back, the elder let a handful of sand slip through his weathered fingers. No one builds a mountain in a single day. Success is built quietly, by small, seemingly insignificant actions that are repeated faithfully, day after day after day. Finally, back beneath the shelter of the baobab tree, the elder spoke his final words of wisdom. To become successful, you must first know your purpose. Then, you must train your character. You must work consistently, learn from your failures, and find ways to serve others. Success is built quietly in the dark, long before it is ever seen loudly in the light. The boy had one last question. But when will I know for sure that I am successful? The elder smiled, a warm, genuine smile that lit up his face. You will know, he said, when your peace is no longer controlled by money. You will know when your growth no longer depends on the applause of others. And you will know when your life itself becomes a light that helps guide others. When that happens, my boy, then you have truly succeeded. The boy walked away from the tree for the last time. But this time, he did not rush. He walked slowly, deliberately, for he had finally learned that success isn't about speed, it's about direction. Thank you so much for watching. If this story resonated with you, consider subscribing for more videos to help you find your own path. See you next time.